The MIWA 3800 is a hybrid lock composed of two elements. First, there are 4 dimple pins on the top with drivers that have micro serrations that often require the pin to be set twice. Second, there are 4 sprung magnetic sliders on the bottom which need to be retracted into the core. The magnetic slider has a serrated edge which interacts with the housing of the lock and often requires multiple passes to set the slider. Each slider has either 1 or 2 magnets which interact with a key. A double magnet on a single slider is indicative of a mastered key system. If there are 2 magnets on a slider, only one of these magnets must be picked for the slider to be set. It is possible to map out the orientation of the magnetic sliders before picking the lock, which greatly facilitates the picking process. There are 4 possible orientations of a given magnet: north up, north right, south up, and north left. There are 8 positions in the lock which must be checked for the presence and orientation of the magnet. 4 positions on each side of the keyway. When the magnet pick is moved back and forth or jiggled over a magnet position, a clicking sound indicates that the pick is in the correct position. If there are clicks in multiple directions over the same position, the loudest click is the correct direction. This occurs commonly when the magnet on the slider faces to the side, north right or north left. In this example, the slider is the north right variety. North up will give a small click, north right a loud click, and south up a small click. North left will give no click. Okay, let's map out this lock that we're going to pick later on in this video. We'll start off with position 4 on the right side. I'm checking each direction, and south up gives us the click. Position 3 gives us no click whatsoever, so there's no magnet there. Position 2 on the right is a south click, and position 1 on the right is no click. Let's go to the left side. Okay, so position 4 on the left side, we're checking each orientation of the magnet pick, and there is no clicking, so there's no magnet there. Position 3, it's kind of faint, but that's the north right. Position 2 on the left, we're checking in all orientations, and there's no clicking. And finally, position 1, that's south. Let's try the other orientations. Yep, that's south. Okay, we got this mapped out. The magnetic slider has 3 possible states with corresponding auditory feedback when the lock is tensioned and the magnetic pick is jiggled over it. Number 1, if it is bound, it will produce no sound. Number 2, if the slider is set, it will produce a clicking sound. And finally, number 3, if the slider is unset and unbound, it will produce the same clicking sound. To find the binding magnet slider, you must test them by jiggling the magnet pick in the correct orientation and position which was found in the pre-pick mapping. One of these magnets will produce no sound. This is the magnet that is bound and must be picked. To successfully pick the magnet, you must slowly release tension while jiggling the pick until you hear a clicking sound. Then you reapply tension, and if the clicking is still present, then the magnet is set. If, on the other hand, it is no longer clicking, you must release tension and try again. Okay, let's get to picking. All right, I'm going to be using the Multipick number 10 Z-bar. It's got the perfect profile, which allows total control over the tension in the 3800. I'm also going to be using the Multipick number 9 Dimple pick, which has a very bulky head that fills up the right side of the keyway and aligns perfectly with the central pins. Okay, so 4 is loose, 3 is loose, 2 is loose, 1 is binding. Click. Okay, 2, click, 3, 4, and now I'm going to go over everything twice to clear that little serrated driver pin. 2, 3, 4. There's a little rotation of the core, which signifies that we're ready for the magnet pick. Jiggling the magnet pick over position 4 on the right side, there's no sound, so I'm going to release a little bit of tension until I hear that little clicking sound, and then reapply tension, clicking still there. Position number 2. Once again, jiggling the magnet pick, releasing some tension till I hear that clicking sound, and we're good. We're going to go to position 3 on the left side. Once again, releasing tension, jiggling till I hear the clicking sound. Applying tension, clicking sound is still there. Good. Next is position 1. Clicking sound. And reapply tension, still clicking. Going back to position 3. Releasing tension, trying to get that clicking sound. And we got it. Going back to position 1. Releasing tension, listening for that clicking sound. And it's there again. Going back to position 3, and we got ourselves into a nice rotation, back into 1, releasing tension, listening for the clicking sound, and we're open. Nice. All right, let's get this guy out of the vise, and we're going to fast forward through a lot of this. I've placed my pin tray inside this secondary black tray because we have these little tiny springs that are associated with magnets that love to fly all over the place. So here I'm taking out the springs, 4, 3, 2, and 1, dumping out the dimple pins. It's dimple pin 1 and driver 1. Pin 2, driver 2, pin 3, driver 3. And finally, pin 4, driver 4. Okay. I'm going to take off this C-clip. Insert the key, which retains all the magnets, and slip out that key and slowly take out the magnets one by one, paying special attention not to lose those little tiny springs. Here's the core with the channel for the magnetic sliders and the dimple pins. We'll put that aside. Here's the housing, and you can see the little channels where the magnetic sliders will sit and prevent rotation of the core. All right, let's take a good look at all the pins, drivers, and magnets. Pins are in the first row, drivers in the second row with their little serration, magnet sliders are in the third row, and that's it. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this pick. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.